This video goes with Lesson 8 of Kittel and Hoffer's Introduction to Biblical Hebrew. So as always, our first task is to pronounce our Hebrew sentence. This is the sentence for this lesson. So if we begin with the first word, v'yadeu, the meteg, the vertical line next to the comments indicates that this is a long ah and not a short o. V'yadeu. The next phrase, ki shmi, and then Adonai. So altogether, v'yadeu ki shmi Adonai. V'yadeu ki shmi Adonai. Okay, so let's look at this first word. We recognize the vav at the beginning of the word. Now this is not a vav conversive. If this were a vav conversive, we would expect vav followed by patach and a doubling, a dagesh, in the next consonant. So our form is just vav with a shva, which simply means and. Now, as we'll see in just a minute, this particular form is called a vav reversive. But before we talk about vav reversive, let's look at the rest of the. So here we have the first yod in the word. This yod is not a prefix because what we have here is not a vav conversive. We'll see other ways of distinguishing this form from the vav conversive in just a second. If the yod is not a prefix, then it's most likely part of the root. So the root that we have here is yod dalet ayin. Now this vav at the end of the word is a marker of the third masculine plural verb. This will almost always be the case for a shurek that's hanging out at the end of a word. It will almost always be indicating some form or another of a third masculine plural verb. In this case, the word has a verbal ending, but there's no prefix. So this is, in fact, an affix form of the verb, and the shurek is our third masculine plural affix. So take note of this. The shurek marks the third masculine plural in the affix form. So let's pause for a minute to remember what we know about prefix and affix forms. So far we know both the third masculine singular and the third masculine plural in the prefix and the affix. When we've seen the prefix form, we've normally seen it as a vav conversive, but if you simply remove the marker of the vav conversive, that is the vav patach double, then generally you'll end up with the standard prefix form. There are a couple of exceptions, but in the strong root, that's the way it works. So the prefix form then, if we take the three x's to be the root letters, prefix form simply adds a yod as the prefix in the third masculine singular. The third masculine plural, again, adds the yod, but also the prefix complement, which is a shurek. The affix form in the third masculine singular is simply the three root letters. The affix itself is unmarked in the third masculine singular. And for the third masculine plural of the affix, our affix is a shurek. So we have the three root letters plus the shurek. We can distinguish the affix form from the prefix form because the affix form doesn't have the yod prefix. So let's look at the chart again with an actual verb form. Let's use our strong verb, pakad. Third masculine singular of pakad, then, is our root, plus the yod prefix, and the vowels yifkod. In the third masculine plural, we will add the the prefix complement, the shurek, so we will get yifkadu. Note the reduction of the o vowel to a shva. In the affix form, then, in the third masculine singular, we'll simply have our lexical form, pakad. Remember that the standard vowels of the kal are comments in the first syllable and patach in the second syllable. In our third masculine plural, we will have this form, pakadu. Here again, we see our a class vowel in the first syllable, which is characteristic of the kal. here we have seen the patach reduced to a shva. Now, if we do the same analysis of this word without the vav, then we would parse our verb this way. The root is yada. The stem is cow. No doubling of the second root letter. The form is affix. The person, gender, number marked by that shurek at the end is third masculine plural. This form, as we have it, has no special features, and so it would be translated they knew. Remember that the affix form is the perfect aspect, translated most often by the English past tense. Yad'u, they knew. Now, if we add our vav back to the beginning here, then what we have is called a vav reversive. Note that this is different than the vav conversive, which is vav patak double added to a prefix form. This is vav and shva added to an affix form. So our special feature here is vav reversive. The function of the vav reversive is to reverse the sense of the verb from the past to the future. So in this case, without the vav, they knew. When you add the vav reversive, it becomes they will know. So here you have the vav reversive, which makes the affix form future. We also have seen the vav conversive, which makes the prefix form past. All right, let's look at the next part of our sentence. Ki shmi Adonai. The first word here is ki. As you know, ki can mean that, for, because, or surely. The meaning here is not entirely clear until we've translated the rest of the phrase, but it's going to, as you'll see, that will be the best translation. This word here at the end is our friend the Lord, Adonai, one of the first words that we learned. So then the question is, well, what is this word here, shemi? This word should seem familiar to you as the noun shame, name, plus the ending hirek yod. So hirek yod is the way of indicating possessive first common singular. So shame plus e is my name. The vowel reduction takes place when you add the hirek yod to the end, because we have a pretonic zere, which does not like to stand, and so it reduces. So shame, name, shemi, my name. Okay, we're going to have a chart eventually that will have possessive suffixes on singular nouns. Note that the noun is singular, so this is name and not names. So the suffixes will be slightly different depending on whether the noun is singular or plural. So here we have the third masculine singular on a singular noun is O, which we have known before. So his name, Shemo. And the first common singular, my, is hirek yod, which we've learned, Shmi, my name. His name, Shmo, my name, Shmi. Now, it should be noted that this hirek yod looks an awful lot like the zere yod, which marks the plural construct form. So be sure to note the difference. Hirek yod, possessive, first common singular suffix, and zere yod marks the plural construct form. Okay, so we come back to our full sentence now. V'yad'u ki shemi Adonai. Translate. And they will know, v'yad'u, that ki shmi, my name, Adonai, is the Lord. One could potentially translate, and they will know, surely my name is the Lord. But that doesn't make as good a sense in English, so they will know that my name is the Lord. And that's everything you need to know for today. So the two things that we've learned, well, maybe there are actually three. We've learned the kal affix, masculine plural. We've learned the vav reversive. And we've learned the possessive suffix e. So work on those, do the homework, and we'll see you in class.